So Thursday at midnight, the Switch 2 went up for pre-order in the US, and it was one of the most stressful console ordering experiences I've ever had. Frankly, I've never really been an at-launch console purchaser. I usually would either get them as a present months after the fact as a kid, or the ones that I bought myself, I would buy much later after the fact. I didn't get my first Switch until I want to say 2019, 2020 maybe, and it was a used Switch that I bought secondhand. This Switch 2 is the first time I've ever pre-ordered a console, let alone will get it day one. And I will. I got it, luckily, which is not the experience for everybody involved. We are now getting numbers back from this pre-order, and we have to talk about it. The best way that I can describe to you how bad the pre-order experience was for the Switch 2 is probably just by telling you my story of what happened trying to pre-order a Switch 2. Little bit of background, right now my kid is pretty sick, so we're very hands-on deck with him, and I wasn't able to just be at my computer for this, so a lot of this is from my phone, okay? That being said, around 11:50, I'm on my phone. I have the Target app open because I figured that was like my best bet in getting a pre-order. I feel like Walmart and Best Buy are known for their tech, and Target is just like another retailer that happened to have the Switch. So I had the Target app open for the Switch pre-order page, and it just said coming soon. And I had it open at 11:50, and I'm refreshing it every minute or so. And when we got to 11:59, I was refreshing that page on the app every like 10 to 30 seconds. And on the dot, at 12 o'clock midnight exactly Eastern Standard Time, the second pre-orders open, the Target app instantly said that it was sold out, which is crazy. Like, I never even saw a pre-order button. It was just instantly sold out. So I start panicking a bit, and it is midnight. I'm in bed with my wife and our sick kid. Our other one was asleep in his room. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? So I installed the Walmart app and the Best Buy app, which were the two other retailers offering pre-orders at that time. I opened the Walmart app, and I hit pre-order, and it puts me in a line. I'm like, cool, I'm on a digital line for that. Meanwhile, my wife opens the Target app on her phone, and she does manage to nail a pre-order from Target, a shipping pre-order that says it'll ship and arrive anywhere from the June 6th to June 11th. Now, for a normal human being, I'm like, hell yeah, that's great. But like, I need to make content about this for my job, so I really wanted it day one. So I was like, okay, that's our secondary option. If that's the only one we can get that. But let me try to get a pre-order elsewhere. And then I opened the Best Buy app. And Best Buy, pre-orders weren't working at all for me, and I couldn't figure out why pre-orders weren't working. So I kept trying on that app while I'm waiting in the Walmart line on the same app. Like, all of these open on my phone at the same time. And I have my wife having the pre-order in the cart open on her phone. And I keep refreshing Walmart and trying to figure out. And eventually I realize Best Buy's pre-order system is actually pretty good for physical pre-orders. The way the system works is you need an account, and you need to register which physical store you're going to pick it up at, and then you can get in line to pre-order digitally. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I signed into my account, which took some doing because I forgot my password. I didn't realize I had an account with Best Buy, and I registered our closest store, and I got in line. So now I'm in line on Walmart, I'm in line on Best Buy, and I'm holding this Switch shipping pre-order on Target. And I go, okay, I guess what we'll do is I'll pre-order it with Target just so I have a guaranteed one. And if I manage to get a physical one at Walmart or Best Buy where I can pick it up day one in store, then I'll just cancel the Target pre-order. I'll just do that, right? Because most of these pre-orders don't even charge you until the Switch comes out, so I can at least make multiple pre-orders and cancel the ones I don't need so other people can get them. So I go, all right, I hit the order button on Target, and I get this message, which is really funny. And I'm going to read it verbatim because it sounds like they were begging, in my opinion. I get, can't check out. Due to heavy traffic, we're limiting the number of guests that can check out right now. Please keep trying. Okay. So I keep trying. And now I'm in line on Walmart and on Best Buy's apps at the same time. And I'm like juggling the apps so they don't freeze while being not the active app. And I'm spamming the checkout button on my wife's phone to no avail. Eventually, Walmart's app crashes, so I have to reload that, and Best Buy boots me out to the main page. So I start losing my mind, and I tell my wife, look, now that it's in our cart, I can do it on the Target app on my phone. You go to bed, I'll figure this out. So I'm on my phone, and I keep refreshing both the Walmart and the Best Buy app, and I keep trying to check out at Target to no avail. And eventually, I get really desperate. So I'm like, maybe because Best Buy is location dependent, maybe my nearest store is already filled out. because it's a smaller store, right? Maybe there's less orders at that one. I don't know. So I use Chrome Remote Desktop, which is an app. If you have an Android, you can use it. You can connect your phone to control your computer anywhere. It's super useful if you work from home. But I open up my computer through my phone and make a new Best Buy account. So now I have 2 Best Buy accounts. I make a new Best Buy account and go to the second closest one that's a much larger store, right? I'm like, okay, I'll go for a larger store nearer to the Philadelphia area, something that is in a big city, so they should have more orders. And I, on my computer, log into my regular account and have that go to the nearest store. And then on my phone, pull up the new account and go to the nearby big Best Buy store. It's closer to Philadelphia, more people, they're gonna have more orders. I'll try there. So I'm refreshing Walmart. I keep trying. Now, at this point, I kept trying to check out at Target, and Target took the Switch 2 pre-order out of our cart. It said, unexpected error, please try again. Our cart's now empty. I'm like, that's crazy. So I go to re-put it in the cart, and Target's app now says that shipping pre-orders are sold out. I'm like, that's crazy, because this isn't even like, oh, your local store is sold out. Target is telling me they're out of Switches, which is crazy. So I'm like, okay, I'll leave the Walmart app open, but I'm gonna focus Best Buy, because while I was doing all my research, I found out that Best Buy is doing a midnight release at 12:01 on Thursday, which would be awesome. I think it'd be fun to like live stream myself waiting for it, picking it up and going home. Like that'd be cool. So I'm like, Best Buy is our best bet. Walmart's an option too. I'll keep the Walmart, because at this point, Walmart's app has not visibly changed in 30 minutes. And I think it's frozen. I like refreshed the app, and the app isn't frozen, but it hasn't visually distinguished anything has changed in 30 minutes. So I keep the Best Buy app focused on my phone. Meanwhile, my browser on my computer is still technically, it says it's in line for my local store. And finally, after 20 minutes on the new account at the bigger Best Buy location, it goes from you are in line to you are up, we are checking our stock. I'm like, that's new, something changed. And lo and behold, about 10 minutes go by, and it brings me to a pre-order window. I place my pre-order, I get an email confirmation from Best Buy saying your pre-order has been placed and instructions on how to claim it. And I give an exhausted thank God, and I go to bed. Not to mention that whole time I was panic tweeting my entire experience and looking for tips from other people. And I'm one of the lucky ones, because apparently several people who placed pre-orders that night got emails in the morning that their pre-orders were canceled, and knock on wood, I haven't yet. And I tell you this story because I think this is the best way I can describe to you how much of a mess pre-orders were for the Switch 2. Because I was not a novel experience. Pretty much everyone trying to pre-order a Switch 2 went through something similar. In fact, I'm one of the lucky ones, because many people still didn't get one and the next morning had to walk to a GameStop when they opened at 11 a.m. in the morning and place a physical pre-order in store. And there were lines wrapped around the strip malls that these GameStops are located in. Not to mention that GameStop also had online pre-ordering, but when their online store opened at 11 a.m. when their pre-orders did, their site kept crashing. And funny story, trying to pre-order Mario Kart World would often crash the site. None of the other games, specifically trying to pre-order Mario Kart World, would cause the site to freak out and lag. So all this to say, what a mess. I keep thinking that they need to fix how pre-orders get so overwhelmed like this, especially with scalpers and the like. But to be honest, I don't know what the solution would be, because there's got to be a solution. I think the best experience I had was with Best Buy, where you pick your physical store and you wait in a digital line, but some kind of visual indication on if the line is progressing at all, I think would alleviate a lot of stress. I wouldn't be panic buying at Target and panic waiting in Walmart if the Best Buy app was like, you are number 48th in line, and would live update, which I don't think is a huge ask. But that's just how the pre-orders went. There's some more stuff to talk about here, especially in the aftermath. The days after the pre-orders, I've seen a lot of people kind of shout at this imagined hypocrisy, and I do want to touch on that, because I myself have been talking about how I think all of the Switch 2 games are pretty overpriced, especially though Mario Kart World with that $80 price tag, which is a huge ask, or things like Welcome Tour, which should be a pack-in game, being I think like a $10 game, or the Switch 2 Joy-Cons after tariffs being $95 for a pair of Joy-Cons. So I have been vocal about my criticisms for the price tag, but I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter, saying like, hey, I thought everybody was going to boycott this. Why is this selling out so aggressively? I have 2 points for that. One, I think it's completely rational and justifiable to complain about prices being too high and say they should drop the prices down while also buying the thing. Because like I say in next week's video, which was supposed to come out last week, but like I said, my kid is sick. Yes, the prices are too high, but there's no way in hell that a boycott of Nintendo would happen. Let's be super honest here. And part of that is just people want to buy the new thing. And as much of the online reaction has been, these prices are too high, they need to be dropped, there is still a massive amount of people who just go, oh, Switch 2 dropped? Cool, I'll pre-order it. And then that's it. And my other point is I think this is part of a Goomba fallacy. And if you haven't heard of that yet, it's a thing that's happened for a long time, but recently has been coined around Goombas. And it's represented by this image. The idea being that when you look online, you see a lot of different opinions from different people. And sometimes your brain can conglomerate it into the same person. Where like this image demonstrates, Goomba A is saying like, I believe in A, which contradicts B. Goomba B is saying, I believe B, which contradicts A. And then the third Goomba is looking at this and going, I can't believe there are people who believe A and B. They're so stupid. Which, like, I think that's a big part of it too. I think the people that were genuinely saying, let's boycott Switch 2 did and didn't buy it. And I don't think they're being hypocritical, and I don't think the people that bought it are being hypocritical either. And then on, I guess, a more interesting note, numbers-wise, is just how much this is already selling, even though it technically hasn't sold yet, right? We're talking about pre-order numbers here, which should be gauged accordingly. Pre-orders are not a guarantee, but they are a high likelihood for purchasing, especially since some stores either charge you early or charge a deposit. But going over the numbers for this pre-order, Japan, for perspective, Japan's opening weekend sales for the Nintendo Switch, the first console, was 330,000 units, which is a great opening weekend. Right now, My Nintendo put out a statement apologizing to Japanese consumers for not being able to meet demand and saying they are going to ramp up production in the coming months to try to make sure everybody can get their hands on a console as soon as possible. Because they've received 2.2 million pre-order applications, which is an insane amount. Global estimates for how many pre-orders were made are at 6.6 million pre-orders. To put that into perspective, currently, the highest selling console launch ever is a tie between the PS4 and the PS5. Both sold 4.5 million units at launch, which I do have to say is surprising. I didn't realize the PS5 could sold that well because I didn't think people actually were able to get their hands on a PS5. But all of this to say, the Switch 2 definitely isn't going to be a Wii U situation. I think it's pretty safe to say that now. I think Nintendo is about to have a very historic console launch on their hands, regardless of their pretty shitty consumer practices. And that is where I do want to point out, like, unfortunately, all this to say, the $80 price tag is here to stay, unfortunately. As much as I think that sucks for gaming in general, hopefully $80 as far as Nintendo goes is only going to be reserved for what they deem worthy, whatever vague terminology that means, because it still astounds me that their premier platformer, Donkey Kong Bonanza, is $70. So they're saying Mario Kart World is worth more, and I get into that in next week's video, I promise you. It has to do with the fact that, I don't want to spoil it, but you'll get there. But the fact that an $80 game is selling out this well in pre-orders alone, they are learning that this isn't a deterrent, unfortunately. And that is actually the new final note I want to leave this on. This is all pre-orders. We haven't even gotten to, like, the launch of the console. So we'll have to see when we get there. And I'll be there day one, believe me. But until next time, as always, you've been watching RyeTwost. Of all the YouTube channels, it's the second one. Stay toasty, slices.